Well, okay, welcome to Unit 6. This is a fast and furious unit. It only lasts a week, and I'm pleased to see that many of you are already in the discussions. Let's do some bookkeeping or class bookkeeping real quickly. Your final cut is due Tuesday night of exam week. No excuses, okay? Please go back to the discussion where you've uploaded your first cut, all right? And look at the comments there. I have commented on everybody's first cut who posted there on time. All right. So go back and take a look, see what I had to say. Make sure you're looking at what your peers had to say. There have been some technical issues, and we've been working on resolving those. So check your email, and then also check your own discussion to see what the replies are there. And I have commented personally on every one that was turned in on time that I could actually access. All right. As I say elsewhere, WP3 files don't work. They're the last step before actually finishing off your production, which turns it into a WMV file. So if you check your email and check the discussions, you'll see commentary on that. Final exam is Wednesday night of final exam week. You may take it 2 times before the deadline, not after the deadline, 2 times before the deadline, and the highest score counts. The point of all these quizzes and exams is simply to teach you something, okay? I'm not trying to use those to hold over your head or to bludgeon you with them. Okay, what I'd like to talk about just a teeny tiny bit is photo ethics, and the reason we're doing this, and we've actually done it before when we talked about Photoshop ethics, is the baccalaureate framework for IPFW, very important document, and we lecturers, professors are obligated to teach you in a fashion that's transparent so that you actually understand how you are meeting certain goals by accomplishing the course goals, okay? And one of the most important ones that they have listed is personal and professional values. And the whole point of going to college, of course, is to self-actualize yourself. You're here because you would like to be a more fully actualized human being. I kind of want to say better person, but that implies you're not a good person, and I don't mean that, all right? So we're looking for professional values and personal values as well. And so when we talk about photo ethics, particularly in a tourism setting, most of you aren't going to go on to professional journalism. I understand that, although the same codes of ethics apply. But tourism journalism has ethics too. It needs to have ethics, all right? And I have a blog post that's in the readings. It's called Photo Ethics, and it's about some of my own excursions into the Mayan world. And I'd really like for you to look at that very carefully. Look at the pictures and look at my commentary, please. But the baccalaureate framework says that, in accomplishing these goals, you will demonstrate the highest levels of personal integrity and professional ethics. And that applies to photography, not just Photoshop, but into actually taking pictures in other settings, all right? And many of you like to travel. That's why you've taken this class, and I certainly do. And you get into situations where taking pictures of people isn't always polite, all right? Even with a long telephoto lens, it's like you're spying on them, and it's almost like you're stealing something from them. So you really kind of have to be thinking about that constantly. And there are a couple of workarounds, and I've talked to you a little bit about that in the materials, and we've talked about that in the textbook. I wrote this chapter, by the way. And so please read the chapter readings, the chapter that I assign you, and also please read my blog posting on this, photo ethics. And essentially be polite, essentially recognize that some cultures simply don't like to have their pictures taken. It's common knowledge here in Indiana, of course, in Ohio, that the Amish don't like this. But it's also equally as true of any indigenous people, all right? Native Americans, both South, Central, and North America, have a whole set of beliefs that are contrary to having their photographs taken. And guess what? Australia, Aboriginal people too. They don't like having their pictures taken for very strong beliefs, all right, that we have to allow them to have. So there have to be workarounds for that, okay? So I discussed some of these in the book. So I'm not saying, or no way saying it's impossible to take their pictures, but it has to be done in a certain fashion so that their dignity and beliefs remain intact, and so that you're not stealing something from them, okay? I've actually had people come up to me and want money after I've taken their picture, even in tourist spots, right? Kind of like, whoa, okay, And so you gotta figure out a way to deal with that. Okay, then finally, at the end of this unit, Unit 6, there's a quiz, and it's just like your final exam in terms that you get to take it twice, and the highest grade counts. And all these exams and quizzes are just thinking exercises. I just want you to think through the issues, look at some of the pictures, and I'm trying to teach you critical thinking. I'm not trying to teach you memorization. So hey, last unit, I'm sorry, I'm looking forward to next week to finalizing your grades on your photo stories. I really enjoyed the ones I looked at. You actually must get me by the deadline the correct file. It cannot end in a .lnk. It must end, and it cannot end in .wp3. It must end in .mov, mp4. Did I say Did I say .wmv? And then there's one other. Let's see if I can find it. It could end in .m4v, which I think you all doing on a Mac. You're not having any trouble. Okay, you guys are so smart. But some of you PC users are still sending me .lnk files. Those aren't files. That's a link to your computer. You can't do that. And you're also sending me WP3 files, which means you've not finished off the process. When you save, when you're at the end of the process and you save, that's fine. You're saving a WP3 file. You have to click the next button, and that then converts it to the WMV file. If you still want to work on the file afterwards, later, you go back to the WP3 file and continue working, save it again, and then click on the next button again, and that reconverts it to a WMV file. And by all means, upload these to YouTube if you can. It's the easiest way to transfer files like this. Plus, once they're on YouTube, you can put the link on Facebook. It's a lot of fun. You can share it. Okay, hey, great class. I'm looking forward to looking at the final exams. Looking forward to looking at the final photo stories. Get everything in early. Make sure there are no problems. When you go to submit the attachment, make sure you're submitting the photo story to the attachment to the assignment. All right. Take a look at it before you press save or whatever. Make sure the attachment's really there, and make sure it ends in the correct file name, and then you'll be in good shape. Okay, take care.